Welcome to Cat Unmuted on whatever platform you're on. I am on YouTube, Patreon, and I'll have this on my website as well, I think. Can't remember how I'm doing that yet. But whatever the case is, this is my first episode. And I wanted to cover what I do. So I am an author, an unconventional healer, coach, and a storyteller. So, as an author, I already have three books. Whoop. So, those three up there, that's the Lucky the Bird series. It's on uh, the subject of my miscarriage that I experienced last year. If you want to get more details on that, just so you know, I have like a dark spot. I spilled tea on myself earlier. Um, but you can find my books on my website, joshandcat.com. That is Josh, the letter N, cat.com. Um, and I'll talk more about it on another episode. But yeah, so those are the three books uh, that I have written so far. And I also have what I call reflective talk, or it's a reflective truth workshop. And I have reflective talk 101, 102, and 103. And they are self-guided workshops to help you communicate with yourself. A lot of us talk about communication in a way of communicating with other people surrounding us, but we never really talk about how we talk to ourselves. So they're there to help you be more observant of what you say to yourself and how you react or whatever. Um, yeah, you can find those also on my website. You can find all of them on my uh, what is it? It's called my shop is under the tab Invest in Yourself, my little shop. So you can find that there. Those are the only two things that I have on there right now, my self-guided workshops and my books. They will be ever growing because I have a lot of books in my head that I really want to get out. I am currently writing my fourth book, and hopefully I'll get it done by July, I think. I don't know yet, but whatever the case is. An unconventional coach, what that means is I'm not licensed or certified to do anything. I am, it kind of goes hand in hand with the storyteller portion. I, um, I have gone through a lot in my life, and I grew up in uh, a broken household, was a single mother, but then I moved in with my dad, was a stepmother, and uh, uh, my dad's relationship with my stepmother, or was my stepmother, was not healthy, and so obviously had a big impact with how I grew up. And in my late 30s, I started seeing patterns in myself. I started doing all these things, and the workshop is kind of built uh, around what worked for me and what I like to do for myself regularly. So through storytelling of what happened with me, as well as how I got through what I went through, and still be able to get to a point where um, the way I live today, because I consider myself very successful, very blessed, because I, in my late 30s, I started a massage business. I didn't even know if I could do it, but somehow I surrounded myself with the right people who not only encouraged me, but knew I could do these things. And so I started getting into massage school, got my license, opened my business, and uh, 9 years into it, I it was a successful massage business, but because of a miscarriage, I had an epiphany, like a thought, a feeling that I am no longer uh, in a place where I wanted to keep doing what I was doing. And um, uh, I chose to do what I wanted to do, which I've done multiple times in my past, but this particular one involved a decision to shut down my business, a 9 year successful business, to pursue writing and storytelling and be an unconventional healer. So that's why I call it unconventional healer, because I'm literally sharing what worked for me through storytelling of what I went through. So that's what I do now. And in my Cat Unmuted channels on YouTube and Patreon, that's where I'm starting at anyway. Also, Substack, if you're on Substack. I didn't even know about it until like, I don't know, 4 or 5 months ago. So, yeah, I'm here, yes, to storytell, like I said. However, one of the things, okay, so I have several things I want to do with my channels is uh, to share what I think communication should look like, which, like I said, I've already wrote self-guided workshops for to help people have a better understanding of what that means and how they can proceed with it. But um, also to be able to talk about the things that are scary because of some belief. A small example of what I mean by that is when I was married to my ex-husband, I couldn't, um, I had a hard time talking about money with him because he would be angry that I spent too much or whatever the case was, whatever the situation was. And whenever I find myself having to have that talk with my current husband, even though he has never shown any aggression or anger towards the conversation about money, I hesitate. It took me years to get to the point where I'm able to talk to him without the hesitation. So, um, yeah, like there are so many ways to look at communication, the style, the situations, and in this case, the communication was more of a feeling, but I let that feeling deter me from having a healthy financial conversation that needed to happen, right? And it had nothing to do with my husband. Nothing. It was everything that happened to me, and I let it get in my way. So, so in order to have those healthy communication, healthy talks and stuff like that, you have to get the conversation with yourself straight first. Um, I know I talk about all this, and I'm talking about it to like publicly like this. Um, that doesn't mean that I have my shit together, honestly. I have struggled through my um, communication with myself for so long. And honestly, I still struggle today with some things. If you know anything about chakras, my throat chakra is probably the most affected, because I grew up in a household where uh, uh, I couldn't express myself authentically, so I was silenced, right? But also, I was raised in a situation where uh, when I tell the truth, um, when I tell the truth, it might come back as me lying. Um, So basically, the situation was, yeah, I can pinpoint the situation, which I'll tell you. When I was living with my dad and my stepmother wasn't exactly the most nurturing person, and I would tell my friends about what she did and how that affected me, and I wasn't happy, and I wanted my mom, who lived in Denver at the time, and I was living in Japan, and because I knew my mom wouldn't do stuff like that, whatever she was doing to us, me, my brother, and my dad. And they would have, I've had a couple of my friends who had the opportunity to meet my stepmother, and they would approach me and tell me something along the lines of, you know, Kat, it's not that I don't believe you, but everything you've told me in the past, I just do not see her doing all those horrible things to you. So they're straight up like told me they weren't, it's not that they don't believe me, but the moment they say that they can't see my stepmother doing the things that I told them that she did, immediately makes me a liar. So I've always had the fear that if I spoke up, I would be caught in a lie I didn't tell. Um, it took me a long time to realize that, but that would like I knew I had stage fright. I knew I couldn't talk to people, I especially in public like this. But when I figured it out, I knew exactly where it came from, and realized that it wasn't that I was afraid of being judged. I was afraid of being caught in a lie. Such a different, like, same stage fright as a lot of people have, but for a completely different reason. So anyway, um, why am I telling you this again? Anyway, so I think I was just giving you an example of, oh, that's right. Like my throat chakra, it's been affected because I couldn't tell the truth without being in harm. And so I've learned not to, but I've always been a very verbal person. I'm able to do it with people in person, just one on one or whatever. But when it comes to a group of people, I had a hard time. So, um, as a massage therapist, it was perfect because for every client that came in, I was able to provide a service of helping them with uh, body pains and stuff that were potentially related to a a chakra. And so in my case, because I have a throat chakra issue, my shoulders are, um, I used to have a lot of, or I still do, shoulder issues and neck issues. Um, and, uh, well, to narrow it down, what I'm trying to get to is that I'm still dealing with a lot of things that I fear. And being heard by potentially the entire fucking world right here, I am doing something that I am scared of. But um, with all the workshops that I've created here, these are all things I've done with myself. So I have come a long way with this work. And now I'm sitting here talking into my computer, into the fucking camera, for the whole world to see, and I am terrified. But um, I'm feeling really good about it today, so I said I need to record now, or it's never going to be recorded. So here's my first episode, right? Anyway, so that's the communication part. Okay, normalizing taboo subjects is my other thing. Again, I am very verbal. If it's in my brain, I'm gonna say it. And I have made so many people uncomfortable, but I do not think It should be a conversation or subject that should make you uncomfortable. Um, and that's why I say it. If I don't feel like that should be an uncomfortable situation, we have made so many subjects taboo. And if you go to a different country, other subjects are taboo, but the taboo subjects in the United States are not taboo over there. Like, so really, our own cultures tell us what taboo subjects are. Because I have grown up in Japan and I've been in my mom's culture in Taiwan for several years, and my dad's American from Texas, I am multicultural. I have seen a lot of different cultures, even if I didn't live in it. I've been immersed in so much that I think that kind of helped me not see a taboo subject taboo. So, um, there may be times where I talk about a subject where everybody might, a lot of people, not everybody, but a lot of people might disagree about me talking about it, but I'm gonna fucking talk about it. And it might not even be on here, it might be in my books. You know, who knows? It depends on what happens, but the intention is to have the best communication. And we have when we have taboo subjects that we shouldn't be talking about, then your communication will be suffering if you follow it, especially with your family. Um, and what I mean by that is, uh, like with your friends and coworkers and whatever, if you don't talk about those taboo subjects, it's whatever. But when you are with your family, your spouse, your children, and you make those taboo subjects, then your communication is suffering. Because that will also go into like what I was talking about earlier, the finances. It's taboo out in the open. Like it's frowned upon to talk about how much you make. That's stupid. Um, and I know a lot of people are going to be like disagree with me, but I think that's stupid. Um, and uh, between coworkers, whatever, like there are cultures within businesses and facilities. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about just within your friends. We're not allowed to talk about that. Oh, age and weight. Why cannot why can we not talk about age and weight because we want to not be that age and weight? I can tell you exactly where I'm at right now, and I don't care because it's the truth. So why can't we talk about that? What will it take away from you? You know what I mean? What will that conversation take away? Nothing. If anything, it puts you in reality. Yeah. So if I run into somebody who wants to ask me about my age, by all means ask, because I will tell you, it doesn't bother me that I'm 45 years old. It doesn't bother me that I'm at what am I at right now? 165 pounds or something like that. I can't remember right now. Um, but I should be about 165. I've been like fluctuating between 168 and 164. So 165. Um, but that should not be taboo. The truth is the fucking truth. Who fucking cares what other people think? And the only reason people don't want to talk about it is because they don't feel good about it. That's really not anybody else's problem but yourself if you're one of those people. You know what I mean? Um, and that's part of the whole communication thing. If you ignore it because you don't like the answer, and therefore you're not allowed to talk about your or be asked what your age is because nobody needs to know about it. Like it's almost as if you're trying to hide that truth because you don't want it to be true, right? Anyway, that's just my opinion. Um, Finding self agency. That's the other thing, right? Like everything I have talked about kind of covers that. Like if you have good communication, that means you'll have good boundaries. That means you'll have more self-respect and all of that stuff, and self-agency will come to you. So, and control. That's a huge topic, right? Do you have control over your life? In all honesty, there is nothing you have control over. Nothing but one thing, and that's your reaction. That is the only thing you have control over. So, let's give an example, right? What you do not have control over. So most people think they have control over their own house because, they clean it, they do all this stuff. Like whatever the situation your house is in, it is under your control. However, what if um, uh, something unexpected happens and the house burns down? Was that under your control? No. Like something happened, you don't know what it was, and maybe you made a mistake and had a uh, an open wire that's like started a fire on the carpet or whatever. Like it may have been something that you did wrong, but the the cause and effect, right? You have lost control. Then at that point, like you blame yourself or whoever let that fire started, but they didn't know, you didn't know, nobody knew this was going to happen. So then, like, putting blame just makes things worse, right? But the point here is it's not where the blame goes, but your control. You thought you had control over the house, but you didn't. Like, anything can happen. However, during this chaos where you're losing your house, your reaction is the only thing you have control over. How are you going to react? Most people react from what they learned through their survival on how they should react. That will make them feel safe. So if you put blame, that's because you feel more safe that it wasn't on you. And you feel like you have more control because you're making other people know it's their fault. That's like the it's not necessarily control, but it's like the only control you can find, and that makes you feel even a little bit safer. However, that does nothing. What that does is make everybody else feel either guilty, angry, they're being blamed. So what are they going to do? They're just going to like cower or fight back, right? But the thing is, you also put that person there, whether it's their fault or not. The only thing you can do is, okay, this happened. What can we do now? If you're able to react that way, you have more control than you think because you're not letting anything move you in that sense, move your emotions. You know what I mean? Like instead of letting your emotions go haywire, you are able to find the control within you and say, okay, this is nobody's fault, but what can we do now to make the situation better? And you can act on that. You need a hotel. Find a hotel or call friends or family so you can find a place to live and talk about what you can do to get your house back uh, down the road, whether it's the next day or the next week or whatever. But your reaction is what you have control over, and that's it. So, obviously, none of this is easy. Like, it took me years of practice to get to where I'm at right now. And the reflective truth series that I created kind of leads you up to that. Like, understand to have help you understand who you are, help you understand how you react, and also go into the thought process of how you could have reacted instead and be proactive about it. So, anyway, um, the point in all this is I am here to share stories and help you find something that relates, and hopefully that one episode will help you make decisions about who you are instead of acting out of whatever you learned. The uh, things that the way you react, it's mostly uh, uh, a learned reaction from your days of survival. You know what I mean? And that's including people pleasing and the overuse of I'm sorry, stuff like that. Mm, bumped it on my tooth. Anyway, I just want to let you know what I wanted to do on this podcast and video, and hope I reach at least one or two people that this might change and for good, like I've gone through. Um, Before I let you go, I just want to mention, because I love her to death. Oh, wrong hand. This right here, that is my great aunt. My mom comes from a family of tribes in Taiwan. They are the Aborigines of Taiwan, the first settlers, if you don't know what that means. And she passed away at about 113. Nobody knows actually how old she was, but we all know she was a lot older than what her birth certificate says, which she was issued in her 30s because they were considered savages. Um, it's it's a long story, and I will definitely tell this story in one of my episodes. But for right now, I just wanted to throw her out there because she's in my screen, and I love her. And um, oh, and the most important thing is you can see her, like she's got a face tattoo. She was the very last person alive in 2019 of when she died in 2019. She was the very last person to have the traditional facial tattoo of the tribes, um, and she was deemed National Treasure of Taiwan. Isn't that amazing? Like, she is such an inspiration, and the fact that she lived so long is just amazing. But yeah, anyway, um, love her, and that's why I have her on my wall, because I love her to death, and she is inspirational, and all of that. But anyway, I just wanted to end it with that, just to, give you other like ideas of what I can be talking about in my episodes. But I'm excited to get myself started with my podcast and YouTube, excuse me, and hopefully heal my throat chakra while I'm at it, and not be so um, uh, I don't. It's not really fear anymore, but it's fear, right? Like it's yeah. It took me a. I made this decision months ago, and it took me this long to finally say I need to start fucking right now, right now, which I did today. So glad I got it. All right. I will see you in my next episode. You guys have a wonderful day, and subscribe to my videos, and or click like if you liked it, and hopefully I'll see you in the next episode. And I'm hoping I'll be able to stay consistent once a week. I'm not sure which day I want it to air, or not air, but like load yet, but I'll figure it out soon. All right. You guys have a wonderful day, and have a happy new year. It is what day is this while I'm recording? The third day of the year. All right. Bye-bye.